Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Just Some Ty. I'm a 30-something nobody from Appalachia in America. That's like the mountainy, scary, poor parts that you don't really go to when you come to America. Um, on this channel, we'll be discussing whatever the hell I feel like, honestly. I'm kind of a nerd, so it's going to be a lot of political, sociology, philosophy, media, science shit if I feel like. There's nothing you can do to stop or affect any of this, so I would just give up that hope now. But sit back. Hope we can have a good discussion. If you like what I have to say, like, subscribe, comment down below. If you hate what I have to say, tell me why. Give me some points. I want to argue. I'm an argumentative little fuck, and I need to get out and actually interact with people. And since Charlie Kirk and the Crucible, they're out of my fucking range for now, even though they're just morons, and I would love to just tell them how dumb they are to their faces. I'm going to start off here, and we can have some discussions and hopefully get some traction. And if you hate me and you agree with anyone else, please come at me, bro. But today's topic is, what is a man? Um, Gender stuff has gotten a lot of traction here in the past few years, especially because conservatives really just cannot fathom the idea of there being more than two things. Honestly, it seems like a bit much for them. So I'm going to go through exactly what all of this confusion is about, and why the idea of a man and a woman, if you think about it, if you really think about it, like how we use the terms, it's kind of fucking stupid. Like, just it's all just made up fairy tale nonsense. So let's start. When we say someone is a man, most of the time what people are saying is that we are taking the physical attributes of that person, mainly genetic, hormonal, and physiological attributes, ascribing those attributes to have societal and ideological roles and virtues that person is ascribed to inherently because of this biological preset that they were born with. So let me show you what that means in my view. So when people say that someone is physically a man, they are going to use three things, and not even all three at the same time, which just shows you how messy gender and sex actually are. Sex specifically in this case, of course, where it's purely biological. But they will either ascribe it to the chromosomal, so XY, the hormonal, testosterone levels, or the anatomical, so, having balls and a dick. That's going to be their go to every time. And like I said, because sex is a much more fluid and spectral thing than they would like to admit, those three things will not line up a lot of the time. So you'll have to pick a side and decide, no, this makes a man in some cases, and this makes a man in some cases. What am I talking about? If an individual who was intersex had XYY and undescended testicles but appeared female from the aspect with physical facial features and growth of breasts and stuff like that, would we call them a man or a woman? Based on the purely physical definition, it would have to be some third thing, which is by definition non-binary. So binary sex, just off our first example, does not exist. Newsflash for those of you who don't know what binary means: binary means two. Two. Male, female, XX, XY. So if you have more than two, XXY, XYY, X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's more than two. So right off the bat, before we even go any further, we have already sort of destroyed the notion that sex even is binary. As you can see from my multi-digited hand here, I have listed trinary more than binary. So I don't know. What are we? Pentary? Do we have pentary sexes? I don't. That it's gonna get a little more complicated than that even. So we've already established that chromosomes not a great way to go. Hormone levels, again, messy at best. Anatomical leads us right back to the first one with the chromosomal disorders. You're going to have mixed matches that don't fit into these two binary boxes for all three. Therefore, the binary does not exist. Okay, simple starting off. All right, so let's take someone who meets all three criteria to start off with. Says someone who has XY chromosomes, has a testosterone in the normal male range that we would say, and has, a dick and balls. All right, that is someone who we consider cis male. So let's start off with that. Based off those three criteria, we know nothing, absolutely nothing that ascribes to that person's role in society, their personality type, their likes or interests, their fashion sense. Absolutely nothing about the personality or role of a person can be purely ascribed just because we know if they have XY chromosomes, testosterone in normal levels, and genitalia that we, would expect to see. So when someone says, "What is a man?" If you wanted to get purely to the most true sense, that would be it. That man with XY chromosomes, testosterone, and genitals could be in a dress and could be, stay at home parent of the year. That has nothing to do with their physical attributes. So now we're getting the idea of the societal roles that are expected purely from your genetic and biological components that are not correlated at all. So here's where the big leap comes in. When someone says something is more manly or that someone is not man enough, that kind of goes to show you that the whole thing is made up, right? Because you can't have more XY chromosome unless you get to just another, of the non-binaries chromosomal set. So we've already got out of that. More testosterone. I mean, I guess you could go that as being more of a man, but then that would mean people with low testosterone are less of a man, and then women can be more manly if they have high. It kind of just makes the whole thing more of a personality trait than something that is actually set as a divider. So as in women can and men can be strong, but being strong is not a trait that is really inherent to either of the sexes. I mean, there are weak men, there are strong women. Therefore, if it can be, there is no divide. It can be probable. It can lean more to one side, but there's no clear cut as in this belongs to this group only, and therefore that is one of their virtues. That is just something that we have made up throughout history. Men used to wear dresses, high heels, makeup, and wigs. Now that's seen as feminine. Again, no biological basis for it. We were not out there in Savannah in work boots and jeans, hunting the fucking corporations and wrangling them down so that males could be CEOs and women could stay at home and be trad wives like back in the caveman days. That never happened. So I don't honestly know what it means to be more or less manly if you ascribe being a man to a purely biological concept. So that's the societal roles that I just don't understand and that we associate with men. Then come the ideological roles, which honestly are even more confusing to see how you could ascribe them to a single sex. So you're telling me that a man should be strong, courageous, brave, adventurous, and all that, but women just cannot be. As in, if a woman is strong, brave, courageous, then she's a man or has a manly quality. And if a man, I'm a father, I'm a single father, I love raising my kid. Like, it's like literally the best thing in my life. If I enjoy, playing with kids or, being more I guess, maternal would be the word. I want to, protect people and make sure that other people experience joy and that brings me joy. Does that make me womanly? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm passing it for that if that's the case. But anyway, to wrap this all up, being a man is honestly, this doesn't sound like bullshit. It's whatever you want it to mean because it's not a real thing. To me, I don't care if I'm a good man. I care if I'm a good person. If I would happen to be born a girl, I would probably believe and try to act the same way because whether I'm a man or woman, I want to help people. I want to make sure people don't get hurt. I want to help people flourish. I want to be better than I was yesterday. And I don't want to let my fear turn me against other people and stop from making the world better. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for now. If you like it, like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.